I know Dan Snyder has a negative reputation, and there have been some troubles with the team and his management over the past few years. In 2020, there were sexual harassment allegations within the organization. Earlier this summer, he testified in front of Congress around workplace mismanagement and mistreatment. How much do those issues play into this news today?
Maggie, I don't think very much. I think, to be fair to Dan, I think he's done a really good job of cleaning house over the last several years and getting rid of people who, supposedly did things that were not appropriate, bringing in some really good people.
We've talked about how much the team is worth. Is that literally, and I know I say this as a biased Eagles fan, is that literally what the team, is the Washington Commanders worth $5.6 billion, or are there other considerations or elements of this package that play into that valuation?
At this point, looking at it from the outside and being a number cruncher like I am, and looking at the brand of this team, the rebranding has been very successful from the Washington Redskins to the Washington Commanders. Their sponsorship revenue this year is probably going to be up around 30% from 2021. They just signed their most richest sponsorship deal in history with SeatGeek. So the rebranding is doing they've been doing a very good job. They are also looking for a new stadium. FedEx Field is kind of getting a little old. They probably want a stadium somewhere in the same area, but right now it could be Maryland, could be Virginia, could be something closer to D.C., so they've got that option. And it's also a team that owns a lot of valuable real estate. They own about 260 acres right around FedEx Field. Their headquarters is in Virginia. They own another 150 or so acres there. So this is not just an NFL franchise play. This is also a real estate play.
Are you surprised then that he's exploring this sale? I mean, what is the benefit to selling versus holding on to all of that real estate for himself?
Well, look, depending on what he decides to do, he may be out there poking around and say, look, if I get a crazy valuation for this team by someone, maybe why not take it? Maybe the best thing in terms of, for me and for my family, pass along the wealth. Also, if he does a minority stake sale, he can retain control of the team. He could still run it, but he could bring in partners that will give him a lot of cash. Perhaps some of that cash would go towards financing a new stadium, still run the team, but at the same time, depending on who he brings in, it could help with the rebranding. It could help with other business opportunities if he brings in some, big tech guy who can really take advantage of all the things happening in technology. So, I really get a sense right now, since this is a very attractive franchise for a potential buyer in a very wealthy market, that he's going to explore all options. I do not expect the sale of this team to happen quickly.
What does that mean? Is this going to drag out for 6, 12, 18 months?
I would say perhaps up to a year. I would be surprised longer than that, but it could be up to a year.